Hi everybody, welcome to LifeSpa.com, where we prove the ancient medical wisdom of Ayurveda with modern science. And today I want to talk about the difference between soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. Basically getting the right fiber for the right season. You know, we all know that the harvest in the spring is a completely different harvest than the harvest in the summer. And that's a completely different harvest than the harvest in the fall. Well, in the same way that the food should change from season to season to season, the bugs in the soil change from season to season to season, the bugs on the food we eat change from season to season. Also, our fiber is dramatically changing from season to season, and that's what I want to talk about today, how important it is to get the right fiber for the right season. Now, in the summer months, when it's kind of hot out, you've got celery and vegetables and lettuces and leafy greens. And if you cook them down, they don't break down to become kind of a gruel or some type of cereal. They kind of just break down the cellulose, but they don't actually fully break down. They're insoluble. You can't actually break them down. So they act as roughage for the intestinal tract, and they're really good during the summer months. But during the winter months, the harvest changes. We have seeds and grains, like think about oatmeal. When you cook oats, it kind of becomes thick and sticky, and that stickiness is actually why they say oats are good for blood sugar, because it slows the absorption down of certain foods. It puts a big soluble fiber, unctuous, sort of slimy Band-Aid over the whole intestinal tract to heal it and soothe it. So soluble fiber are those things that are going to be, when you cook them down, they're going to be slimy, like slippery elm or licorice or marshmallow or chia or flax. And those are the things that we're looking for to actually create a lubrication and a healing of the intestinal lining. In the winter, when it's cold and dry, our skin dries, our internal skin dries out. Nature provides the antidote to that dryness with the soluble fiber harvest. And that soluble fiber harvest is going to put a big lubricating Band-Aid on the intestinal tract. And in Ayurveda, we call that vata. The seat of vata is in your intestinal tract, large intestine mostly. And that is the seat of the nervous system. So if your skin dries out on the outside and your skin dries out on the inside, from the Ayurvedic perspective, and lots of good science to back that up, your nervous system will become disturbed. We now know that 95% of the serotonin in the body is produced inside the large intestine, as well as many other neurotransmitters. So if your intestinal tract does dry out, then you become more vulnerable to anxiety and worry and stress and insomnia and sleeping concerns and all kinds of dry joints, things like that, all that we call vata aggravations or dried out type conditions. So nature had a plan for that, which was just to give you the soluble fiber that you need to lubricate your intestinal tract. Now we also know that we need fiber desperately in our body. You've all heard that the fiber is what feeds your microbiome. Absolutely true. The hunter-gatherers, according to one study, they got 100 grams of fiber per day in their diet. The average American gets about 15, which is not nearly enough. And when you eat the fiber attaches to the bile, and the bile takes the fiber to the toilet. The fiber is like, the bile in your body is like a Pac-Man, gobbling up toxins in your liver, toxins in your intestinal tract, and you eat the fiber, it attaches to that bile and takes the bile to the toilet. And that's the beauty of what fiber is really all about, is it attaches to the Pac-Man, the toxic gobbling Pac-Man, and takes those toxins all the way to the toilet, which is sort of an amazing experience or amazing kind of a thing. And if you don't get enough fiber, studies show that up to 93% of those toxins can get reabsorbed back to the liver and dump all their toxins in the liver, which go back into the bloodstream and look for places to deposit in your deep tissues, your brain, your fat cells, your joints, creating all types of problems. And so if you don't get enough fiber in your diet, then the body will actually reuse that bile again and again and again up to 17 times, like washing your dishes in the same dirty dishwater for 17 days in a row. We never really get to help get that really clean detoxification. And this whole mechanism is really designed from the hunter-gatherer days when we ate a lot of fat in one sitting. The gallbladder is a sac of bile that's 20 to 25 times concentrated bile. And that concentrated bile is for the brains and the intestines of a woolly mammoth in one sitting, which you would eat a ton of that in one sitting, and then you would find yourself not eating much of anything for a very long period of time. And then you have another big feast where you have to eat all the fat on an animal right away because it goes bad. You can dry the meats, but you can't dry the fats. You have to eat them. So we had the ability genetically to eat crazy amounts of fats in one sitting. We don't do anything close to that anymore. We don't even really need a gallbladder that big, although we don't want to be taking it out unnecessarily. But that's why we have that big gallbladder. And that's why we're able to reuse that bile 17 times before it actually finally gets discarded, because during those periods of famine where there wasn't any food, to keep the bile and the fat metabolism and detoxification going. Anyway, soluble fiber is what heals the lining of your intestinal tract. And in that intestinal tract is your gut immunity. And if your gut is compromised, dried out, you lose 70% of your immune response, which is potentially your whole gut immunity, which is problematic. So in the wintertime, when you need the immunity the most, we get the soluble fiber to give you that lubrication of your gut, to make sure that we heal the lining, create an environment for good bacteria to proliferate, and give you the optimal gut immunity we possibly can. And this is what we call balancing vata. And the relation between the gut and the brain and the gut is intimate. And that's why when your gut is happy, your moods are happy, your sleep is happy, you're very healthy. That's how it works. So some soluble fibers to think about. Our favorite at LifeSpa for healing the lining is a combination called the slippery elm prebiotic. It's a combination of slippery elm and licorice and marshmallow root. You boil it down, make a thick viscous tea. You sip it throughout the day for a month. Coat the whole intestinal tract like the Pepto-Bismol commercial, putting a big Band-Aid over that intestinal tract to heal and repair the intestinal mucosa. Other soluble fibers like chia and flax are also great. Other ones like wheat germ, which is a really forgotten, health food. It's the highest source of spermidine, which is one of the longevity agents that people are talking about for helping to extend life. Hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, all really good. But my favorites, slippery elm, licorice, marshmallow, chia, flax, those are the most slimy. And of course your foods, your grains, your oatmeals, whenever you take a grain and you cook it into a cereal or a gruel, when you take the whole grain that you can actually see, it's the grain itself, put it into a pot and cook it down, you're going to be eating a soluble fiber, which is harvested in the fall for winter eating to make sure you get the optimal benefit that you're looking for. All right, thanks for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube or any other channels, please like or subscribe because we put this information out as regular as we possibly can. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard. Hi everybody, I just want to take a minute and tell you what we do here at LifeSpa.com. I've been in practice now for 40 years, 38 of them have been practicing Ayurvedic medicine full-time. For the last 20 years, I've been writing articles and doing videos on the ancient medical wisdom of Ayurveda with the modern science. If something's been around for 1,000 years, still practiced today, and you have modern science to prove it, boy, I really feel like that's something we should all be taking a look at. And that's what we do at LifeSpa.com, and all that information is for free. So just go to LifeSpa.com and search in your health topic, and you'll get the information, the article that you need, hopefully that will help you. While you're there, check out our Ayurvedic store. You can get there through LifeSpa.com or go to store.lifespa.com. And there we have all of our organic Ayurvedic herbs, organic skincare line, more books, tapes, knowledge that we give you is all there at our store. All of our cleansing kits are there in our store. All of our herbs are whole herbs with the natural occurring microbiome, the way it came out of the soil. And that's critically important because if I took the bugs out of you, you'd be completely different. We take the bugs away from a plant, like sterilizing, making an extract, or spraying your food with pesticides, you lose significant benefit of that plant. And that's why we use the whole plant with the natural occurring microbiome. So check us out, learn more about what we're doing here at LifeSpa.com, and we'll see you again.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at lifespa.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.